Hello guys and welcome to the recap of the topic. We're going to be evaluation and revision of knowledge for the A grade in the class of literature. We're going to evaluate three topics that are degrees of comparison, comparative and superlative rules. I mean the way we convert the adjectives to comparative and superlative, and jargon. So these are the three topics that are from page 20 to 25. Let's do a recap of the first two. So let's see degrees of comparison. There are three degrees of comparison. The positive degree, when we use as the same noun, and we're going to use as. Comparative degree, when we use er at the end of the adjective, or more than. And when we have, and the last one, superlative degree, that means when we add est or we use must. So let's see some examples. Look at the picture. We have three people. We have tall and short people. We have Mr. A, Mr. B, and Mr. C. So let's see some sentence using comparison. We got A, B, and C. And let's say that Mr. A is shorter than Mr. B. We're using the adjective short, and we're using in the comparative way because we are in ER. Mr. B is shorter than Mr. C. Mr. C is taller than Mr. B, and Mr. C is the tallest man of all. Mr. A is the shortest man of all. Now, if we want to use equal comparison, we're going to use as. For example, as short, sorry for the letter, as short as. So let's see some rules to use the comparative and superlative degree. So from one syllable word, we're going to add er for the comparative degree and add est for the superlative degree. For example, tall is taller in comparative, tallest in superlative. Sweet is sweeter in comparative, sweetest in superlative. The adjectives that ends in e, we're just going to add r or st. For example, large, larger, or largest. Late, later, latest. If the adjectives ends in a vowel and a consonant, we have to double the consonant before adding er. So fat, fatter with double T, fattest with double T. Now, for two-syllable words, if the adjective ends in y, we're going to change the y into an I and add er. For example, busy becomes busier or busiest, just changing the y for I. For adjectives that ends in is, use, or all, we got all these, we cannot convert them, so we're going to have to use more or most. Famous becomes more famous or most famous. Now, some special adjectives. Some adjectives, subsidiary adjectives have two possible some. Common, commoner, or more common, commonest, or most common. We're going to have all these are special. We can use either more or most, or we can use the rule to add er or est. And notice that for the adverbs ending in li, either two more syllables precede more or comparative. For example, more slowly, more slowly. So we're going to have to use more or most. It's an exception with early because early is not a suffix. So we're going to use earlier or earliest. This is the only one, the only exception for adverbs ending in li. Now, for more than two-syllable words, use as, more, or must. When the word is too long, you use as, more, or must. So, expensive, more expensive, difficult, more difficult. And let's study some irregular forms, irregular that we cannot change because either of them has the only way to change it. So this one are special special verbs that are irregulars, and we have to learn this. So we have to learn and study. Okay, so these are the degrees of comparison and the rules for comparative and superlative. Now let's see the last topic, that is jargon. So jargon is defined as a language that is understood only by a select group of people. It is the special words that we use for special topics. So we got medical, professional, education, computer tech, Star Trekkies, gamer, soccer players. Either of them special words that only used in one of these professions. So we got, for example, basketball jargon. We got an air ball. We got a board. We got double, triple, double. These words are only going to make sense for people who plays basketball and who knows that the words are special for that. But we can also have words, for example, for medical jargons. We can say, let's say, for example, the pliers. Pliers usually are things that help us to cut some things, but the plier in medical jargon, I use it in surgery. Or we can say, for example, the mouse. This is the most common example. Mouse, for everyone, can be just an animal, but when we are talking about computer, it means the things that we move in the screen. So these are jargon. Jargon are special words to a special area, to a special topic, or to a special profession that is used only in certain case, only by certain people, and it is understood in those scenarios, in those cases. Okay, so this is jargon, and remember that the topics we're going to have to study are from pages 20 to 25. So you can study from that, you can practice. The evaluation is going to be very easy, very simple, and I hope you have a great day.